What's up, guys? It's time. Draft-a-Palooza. Wednesday, June 11th. We're drafting best ball teams here every day, 3 times a week. We're going DraftKings. We're doing FanDuel. We're doing Underdog. Not FanDuel. FanDuel's not a real thing, but Underdog, whatever else there is. And our last breakdown, we did Underdog. So I'm going to go back to DraftKings today. And I have some rankings, just a couple of relevant things, minimal relevant fantasy football news out there. We found out, I don't know if this, we found out that, so Nick Chubb signs with Houston. What effect does that have on Joe Mixon's value? I'll tell you who its value it destroys. Woody Marks, possible late round handcuff. No mas, right? Don't want him anymore. And beyond that, I think that it puts a little bit of a cap on Joe Mixon's upside, maybe just a little bit there. You're probably looking at, a couple fewer. My guess would be Chubb probably gets mixed in a little bit, maybe on the goal line. He's a big dude. So we'll have to see. But I think overall that puts a damper for me on Chubby Wubby or on Mixon. Not Chubb, Mixon. So do with that what you will. I think it puts a little bit of a damper on him. Let's go back to the play action here. Prime contest that I've been doing. We're going to try to get as many, we'll try to fill out this contest. So Mixon's been in a boot. There you go. So let's be careful about Mixon. I don't think I have one share of him. How do you see? I wonder how I could see my exposures. There must be a way to show my exposures so far. Let's see here. Had a good weekend of DFS action, by the way, guys. I didn't even talk about it, but took first in a NASCAR tournament, took second nuts in MMA this weekend. So it was a pretty good weekend overall. How do you see exposures? Man, I don't really know. Oh, looks like I've got one. Oh, this might have been the one that maybe this one got canceled. I'm sure what that is, but don't know. But anyway, let's get right into it. We'll get this draft started. I'm going to go again back to DraftKings. We're going to go to the $3 play action once again. Here, we'll try to fill this thing out. So we'll put our 20 in here, and I am entering the contest. So let's see how quickly we fill. If you guys want to join me here, looks like there's a bunch of spots available right now. So if you guys want to join, I am doing the best ball 1.5 million on DraftKings $3 entry contest. All right. So I don't know if this fantasy football. Do you guys know that apparently Antonio Brown banged Gavin Newsom's wife? What's going around on Twitter? So kind of funny. There's also a little bit of controversy in the fantasy football world going around Twitter, just kind of interestingly going around Twitter. And the controversy is effectively that, on the app it shows exposures. Yeah, there we go. The controversy is, I guess, around Yahoo using AI to write their fantasy football articles now, and people are really up in arms about that. But let me tell you something, guys. AI is going to do, big companies are going to do what big companies do, and that is cut costs. And if they think they can have AI be a better writer or just as good of a writer as somebody who gets paid, they're going to do it with AI. So be aware, AI is coming for everything and everyone. Be aware. One thing AI can't do is really give like opinions, right? It's just can regurgitate stuff that it hears. So it's more, there's the argument that it's kind of like plagiaristic to use it. And that's the big controversy going on around that. I don't know how I feel about it. Not sure. What I do know is we are live and we're waiting for, here we go. We are full. So let's see where I will be picking from on this one. It looks like, the 12 hole. Okay. All right. It's been a minute. We've been picking sort of from the top for most of these drafts. So you know, starting at the 12 hole. Soup's over there in pick 4. Any of you guys, Exablocki, that's a familiar name. I'm assuming that's somebody who's in here as well. Drago's in here with us. Of course. I'm looking through here. Any other names that we recognize? Nope. I'm assuming Exablocki is somebody here in the chat as well. So we got a little group here. The little draft action. Drago kind of picking now near me. Ivan always with a very thoughtful approach. You will be sandwiching me here. And Soup's right in the middle. Just there to Scoops. I'm going to call you Scoops. Scooping all my guys. Scoops. All right, we got 35 seconds left. So, yeah, this will be our first one for today. What's wrong with Chase and Barkley? Chase and Barkley's great. Happy to get that. Got the Sanguige. Disbanded Brotherhood knows what's up. You in there, Disbanded Brotherhood? Is that you, Exablocki? Is that you? Somebody here. I've seen that name before. And I can't remember who. So here we go. I will be picking at the turn. And remember, we are back to DraftKings scoring system, right? Full PPR. What's up, my man? Full PPR. Bonuses for 100 yards. Benefits for wide receivers somewhat above running backs in this format. Mildly different from Underdog, which is half PPR and is really going to heavily favor running backs just because of how that goes. So we are in the Draft-a-Palooza. It's a palooza here. It's a party. It's a draft party. Worst 5 ID3. You are not in here. Or are you? No. No, not in here with this time. But hey, if you're hanging out watching the draft, we're going to talk about players. We're going to talk about rankings. And we're going to just talk it through as we go here. So, again, Chase Barkley, it seems like the standard here on DraftKings is that Chase does wind up going ahead of Barkley. I get it. It's really hard to replicate a guy like Chase. It's also hard to replicate Barkley. So let's see how it goes. But definitely wide receivers get a little bit of a boost. I would suggest that I still think stud running backs, if they're working for you, are why you win these leagues. The wide receivers are just not as consistent, but they'll put up those big smash games, but they're not as consistent as the running backs. Running backs help you get there. They help you get there. Final phase looks like might be auto drafting. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Takes Bijan. Bijan there is a great pick. Jahmyr Gibbs always in the middle of the round here. And, I continue to tell you guys that I think Jahmyr Gibbs is just a smidge risky compared to, some of these other names, primarily because we all got excited about him after Montgomery got hurt and he started going from his 20-point games to these 30, 35-pointers, getting all the touches. Can he keep that going? Yeah. Do I do any underdog? We do underdog disbanded. You haven't been. I don't know if you haven't been here. We've done a bunch of underdogs here. So I'm not doing any drafts this time of year on my spare time because I'm focused on the Draft-a-Palooza, right? But later in the year, if I want to get more in, I'll start doing slow drafts. What I found is I can't really concentrate for the time it takes on a fast draft to really pay attention the whole time unless I'm streaming. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let's keep the streaming going. Scheming. He's streaming. McCaffrey, Neighbors. All right. We're almost up. So, Derrick Henry goes, and you put me in a weird spot. So we can go wide receivers. Running backs here are less good. HN, yeah, I don't love it. Wow. Well, this sets me up differently than I was expecting. We're going to double tap, I guess, the wide receivers here. Let's just go for the next two in my rankings for whatever it's worth. So I was hoping actually for Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry there. I was going to double tap that. Bam, bam. bam, like fucking Triple H that shit, bam. But no bueno. So as much as I just talked up running backs early, I just double tap wide receivers early. So we have studs at wide receiver already. We're pretty good. This team is already pretty good to go. Hang on. I need to shut down the noise in this room. Had the AC blast in there. Oh, that's you? Oh, okay. Yeah, as a blocking, that's Pollock. Okay. Brian Thomas Jr., Josh Allen. Whoa. Monet 814 with a little early snag of Josh Allen. Interesting. Risky. One nice thing about drafting at the double tap is I can now talk through this whole draft and kind of like what's going on during it, because I don't really need to focus that hard on the draft board. Again, early for me on AJ Brown, I was not on board with that pick at all at 2-7. This guy was just not that good, like averaging 16 points per game. So basically, AJ Brown averaging 16 points per game. You're going to see here players way, way, way lower, are averaging 16 points per game. You don't need to go all the way there. I could probably get a 16-pointer, way down here even. Let's see now, 14.5, a little bit less. Let's see if anybody else. I mean, definitely at running back, you'll see. Like Higgins is at 19. He won't go for another round. Garrett Wilson. There's a lot of guys I like ahead of AJ Brown. Soup's on the clock, man. Soups, you're up. Double tap the same position group, you mean? I just think you got to. So for me, the biggest issue at the end is maybe one value piece falls to you and you grab that, but never two, right? So if you're in the middle of a round, you always have a chance of taking a value guy. But I think when you're at the very end, sometimes there's two things you have to do. One of which is you kind of sometimes have to reach for a pick. Like knowing that I'm not going to pick for another hour once I get my next round tells me, all right, if there's a guy who I like 6, 7, 8, half a round from here, I need to reach for them. And especially when you're doing, when you're setting up correlation. So I'm already looking at my team. I'm like, all right, I got Amon-Ra, so that's Jared Goff. I got Nico Collins. So that's CJ Stroud. And then you start to think about, okay, if I'm going to set up those kind of stacks, who else goes with those players? Oh, Adams. That's the earliest I've seen Devonta Adams go this year. That's the earliest. Pollock on the clock. But back to it. So as you start to develop, so I start to think, all right, I have Nico Collins on my team, so maybe I can think about other Houston players later on. Houston doesn't really have a lot of stackable players, but maybe, right? Amon-Ra's there. Okay, do I want to kind of like think about getting some other pieces from that team? Do I want to get do I want to try to get Laporta on there, or Jamo Williams or something like that? So you just kind of start to think about, all right, who might work along with this? The other thing is our big approach here is always, try to have at least 3 running backs in the first 6 picks. That's going to definitely be my approach all the time. I'm always going to try to get 3 running backs in my first 6. So I still have 0. So now I know in the next couple picks, I definitely need Soups. Soups disappeared. He's getting auto drafted. Got distracted. Boss came in. Boss man. I'm also learning that I think we didn't put this out on my Twitter. Let's see if I can get that going on my Twitter feed. Get some more of those eyes in here. Rashee Rice goes. Marvin Harrison next. We're seeing a lot of auto drafters here in this one today. Am I tripping? What's going on here? Final phase auto drafting? Maybe this will benefit me. I don't know. Malachi. Wow. The only faith I might have, he's not been mentioned at all. The only faith I might have at this point, no. But the only thought would be the Jets really have nothing else going on at wide receiver. Nothing. There's Chase Brown very late. That was almost like a weird guy that fell to me. I'll take Chase Brown there all day. Holy shit. Why did you guys let him go that far? See, this is what happens when we're not drafting against each other. Soups auto-drafted and let Chase Brown get past him. This guy's auto-drafting too. Look at that. Well, this could be one of those ones that, this could be one of those ones that, like, end up with some special values. I get some real value dropping to me here. George Kittle. Lamar. Whoa, you fucker, right? I was going to take Lamar there. I think you're going to definitely take in Omarion. And I think it's James Cook and Omarion here. Let me see what the wide receiver group is. Still really good wide receivers. All right, you know what? Let's go Omarion. And then do I want to risk it for the biscuit here and take another elite wide receiver? Kind of do. Get wide receiver heavy in this one. JSN or Garrett Wilson. I mean, I definitely have Wilson ahead of him. All right, fuck it. Jets. 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 Ray Zanny, I think he's dipping a little bit because there's a little bit of hype around the rookie that they drafted, that he's going to be this guy on the goal line. I'm ignoring it. Give me Chase Brown. Give me all the Chase Brown for cheap. Chicken Noodle Town. Yes, I love DJ Moore this year, and I'm going to give you my reasoning. Last year, DJ Moore had to compete with Keenan Allen, who was effectively a target hog for that team, right? Keenan Allen was getting 8 or 9 targets. DJ Moore, more like a 7 or 8 targets. They were really they throw a lot. Keenan Allen's gone. I think DJ Moore's target numbers will go over 10 per game, and I think he's going to have a spectacular season. So, yeah, I'm drafting lots of DJ Moore. I didn't take him here, but I have a ton of exposure to him across a lot of these drafts so far. DJ Moore is one of those names that I'm excited about in 2025 for fantasy football. We're getting some auto drafters in here, man. It's pretty weird. But yeah, give me, where's DJ Moore still on the board? You take a Mike Evans like this. To take Mike Evans ahead of DJ Moore is weird. Hunter was a rookie. No, right? DJ Moore still on the board. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. This is a massive fall. Again, it's nice to see it, actually. I almost got Lamar Jackson. I would have taken Lamar if he was available here. It's just too far beyond where he should have gone. What's up, Andrew Nolan? It's too far behind. A little lunchtime, lunch and draft. The only thing we need to add to these drafts is draft beer, but it's lunchtime. Joe Burrow goes to a guy here that doesn't have any correlation. Final phase. Finally, DJ Moore goes. That's, again, one of the latest I've seen him go. JSN goes almost the latest. Wilson. These guys normally go at the top of round 3. So this round has been a little bit of a weird one. But I'm about it. Soups is back. Soups, you back from wherever boss walked away. You back to drafting. Tet McMillan, big upside rookie. Right after Xavier Worthy. Yeah, okay. I would take Tet McMillan ahead of Hunter, but tit for tat. You guys so I guess this is a question for the chat. Would you prefer Tet McMillan or Travis Hunter? Like, in your rankings personally, where do you have these guys? I'll make an argument for both. With Tet McMillan, traditional wide receiver on a Carolina offense that seems to be looking ascensive towards the end of last year. Probably locked into like that WR1 role. Xavier Legette doesn't seem like that big of a challenge to him, right? And they're going to have to throw a lot on Carolina. The team is bad. On the other side, you have Travis Hunter, who is this hybrid player. The Swiss Army knife, can play cornerback, can play wide receiver. Has an alpha in Brian Thomas Jr. to compete with, but But there's always a big but. Actually, we love a big but. What's up? But the Jacksonville offense promises to be exciting. They've got the whole crew in. They got the coaching staff from Tampa brought over to, sort of be that thing. So, the chat seems, I'm on board with this. I agree. I think it's Tet over Hunter. Tet's a little safer, but that Jacksonville offense, if it is all, I think Tet gets it done no matter what. They're going to have to force it to him. That Jacksonville offense, if the whole Tampa thing comes to fruition, might be super exciting. Devontae, Kenny Walker goes off the board there. Kenny Walker goes ahead of, let's see, Mixon, Chuba, Henderson. His normal spot. We've taken 3 wide receivers so far, really good ones. Wide receiver group looking sexy. Running back group going to be soft here by comparison. So, it is what it is. Let's see here. Zay Flowers goes to just randomness. This is an interesting team being built. There goes Joe Mixon and Kamara. So here's another. I am not high on Kamara at all. Kamara, guys, if you're watching this, if you ever watched anything that I've ever done for fantasy football, if you've never listened to there's 2 things. There are 2 things that I've used to help me kind of win a lot of leagues over the years. Now you might say, hey, he's good, he's bad, whatever. I've won a lot of leagues doing a couple different things. I'm not talking about best ball. I'm talking about redraft. Best ball, side note, right? But in redraft, it is a run on running backs right there. In redraft, I try to take running backs from teams that don't suck, right? I want teams that occasionally score a touchdown. It's that simple. I need a team that sometimes scores touchdowns, or my running backs are going to fuck me, right? So we don't want running backs from teams that are bad. Sam Laporta, marry him up with RJ Harvey. I don't love Harvey that much. Let's see, QBs, Baker. I don't mind Baker, but I didn't really think through quarterback there. All right, I'm doing it. All right, we're building a Detroit stack. Not a bad stack to build. We'll try to get Stafford later. So I made the decision to go with Laporta, pair him up with Amon-Ra, because now I'll get a little stack going. I got my second running back, Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson coming out is considered to be like the top pass blocking running back in this draft. In dynasty drafts, he's now going as high as 1.4. So in your dynasty startup, or not startup, but in your dynasty rookie drafts, right now it looks like it's primarily going with Janty, Made Omarion, and then one of the 2 wide receivers or Cam Ward. Sometimes Trey Henderson goes as high. So Trey Henderson's in that elite group now. Well, the easiness of the Lions stack is just like because Goff goes so late, right? But that's a good stack team. When Goff's going off, that usually means they usually score a lot, but in those games, it's not like Jameer and Montgomery taking all the touchdowns. It's those occasional games where Goff throws for touchdowns. All right, let me look at my team again here. We got Nico, Garrett Wilson. So Nico, Garrett Wilson, Laporta. So Goff, potentially, Stroud, potentially, even Justin Fields as potential QBs for this group so far for me. So we'll pay attention to those guys, try to make sure we get some stacks going. All right, let me critique some of this here. Judkins. I just said it before, and I'll say it again. Judkins, great. Good situation. I like it. Starter. High draft capital. A lot of good things going on for Judkins. What's the bad? The bad is Cleveland stinks, and they're not going to score a lot of touchdowns. I hope you're right. I think Fields, I've said for a couple of years, I think Fields, even last year when they were getting, when the Jets were getting Rodgers, I was like, man, they should just get Fields. So I'm about it. I think the Jets with a mobile QB is probably what they need. All right, so let's just see what's going on. Interesting that Jerry Jeudy goes this high. Again, who's Cleveland's quarterback? What are you guys doing with Jeudy this high? Chris Godwin, Monet. Be careful, Monet. Be careful with Chris Godwin. I don't know whether he's ready for the start of the season. We don't even know if he's going to play for the first few weeks, and that's a bad sign. So I liked Godwin before until I started to think about his health situation. Deebo Samuel, plenty of upside there. Jerry Jeudy, don't like the team. Olave, don't like the quarterback. Waddle, team situation, kind of weird. Then Judkins, right? So this is, everybody's got warts in this round. Judkins, running back for a terrible team. RJ Harvey, will he get workhorse carries? He's actually specifically not supposed to be very good at pass protection. We'll see. You know, it's all rumors and innuendo. We'll see, right? Montgomery, so second fiddle guy, but I think he's fine. Calvin Ridley, though, this is a player I like a lot. Think about Tennessee this year. It's kind of like Calvin Ridley's kind of like a bargain basement Garrett Wilson in a lot of ways. They don't have anyone else to throw to. Calvin Ridley is there with like a Van Jefferson, and I don't even know. I don't know. Who are the wide receivers for Tennessee? Robert Woods, like Bobby Trees, fucking ghost of Bobby Trees. How old is that dude? That's crazy. So Ridley should get a ton of targets this year, right? So I like that. Pearsall, love that pick. I was hoping he would get there for me. Unfortunately, he did not. Makes me upset. Tyrone Tracy, whoa, right? K-Shack, Addison. So we are in that second level. I need to pay attention to players here. Let's see who's still floating around. Running back group, we're getting past the starters. So I'm in a little bit of trouble. There. Wide receiver group, still some decent ones floating around. We have a tight end already. Don't need to worry about that. And we're going to start to get into the part of the draft where like the players here will start to hammer these quarterbacks. This is kind of how it goes. So once the elite or decent tier of running backs are gone, we get into the quarterback zone. Let's go by. I'm going to set up my sort by ADP so I don't overpay for anything. Yeah, I'm going to take Pacheco here. I don't have a lot of Pacheco exposure, and I definitely need another running back. We waited too long. So this first pick for me is going to be Pacheco. I'm talking it through because I'm looking to see if there's any other running backs I'd want, and there are not. So let's do that. Let's go over to the wide receiver group. Myers, Steffi Diggs. I really like Steffi Diggs a little bit, but we could also grab our quarterback here in Goff. He's ADP of 90. We're pick 86. So if the quarterbacks are going to go, so I'm just going to grab one right here and make sure I get my correlative quarterback on my team. Notice what I'm doing. I look at my pick number. We're at pick 86. I know I'm on the turn, and I see that Goff is going on average pick 96. Well, do I want to wait another 24 picks and hope he gets there when I have two players from that team and I need the stack? No, I got to take him. I got to get a go. Bobby Trees is on Pittsburgh. What team? Is it Treylon Burks? Who's the WR3? Burks got hurt, I feel like, again. Who's the WR3 on Tennessee? Who the hell are they throwing it to? Somebody look up the depth chart for the Titans. Like, I'm not even kidding. I have no idea. I think Van Jefferson is on that team. Like Pittsburgh throwaways are on that team. Garbage guys. Van Jefferson. Come on. How the fuck is that guy still in the NFL, by the way? Does he pass protect? How does he maintain his job? All right, so let's see Goff, Purdy. We got a couple of solid wide receivers here. Cooper Kupp, you never know, right? Cooper Kupp is a real mystery. A real mystery this year. Burks, Lockett. Yeah, Lockett. Tyler Lockett is going to be that guy probably. No, it'll be Tyler Lockett, and then maybe like Van Jefferson. So I guess Tyler Lockett's a little bit better than nothing. We get Tyler Lockett on like one of the last picks in the draft. There goes Brandon Ayuk. So this is finally appropriate, guys. When we started doing these, Ayuk was going first or second. I think it's crazy that Juwan Jennings goes like multiple rounds ahead of them, but definitely Ayuk was going ahead of Pearsall when I started doing these. And it's good to see like all is right in the world. Ayuk dropping appropriately back down after Pearsall where he belongs. Yeah, see, the run on QB that I expected to happen kind of is happening here. So I'm glad I got my first guy. Goff is not a reliable quarterback for a full season. Goff is a guy who's going to get us a few good games. Look at his returns. So he's more of the stat guy. He averaged 20, which is pretty good, but he has these monster games when the Lions go bananas. But he also has a lot of duds when the running backs. This is like a classic GPP only guy. Look at all these sub 15s, like garbage scores, and then boop, boop, pop for big score, right? Win your tournament. Garbage, 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 and then big score, right? Garbage, garbage, big score. This guy wins you the tournament or ruins you because that's how the Lions are. So when I get Goff, there's no way I'm like, I'm just going to take him. He needs to be backed up by somebody good because I need somebody filling in scores on those weeks where, and Andrew Nolan, it's super. You got to pay it. Like when you look at it, they're like, well, why are you looking? Past performance is not indicative of future result. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I would have taken Fields too on this next round. So you fucked me. It is. Past performance is indicative of future results. And there's a reason that Jared Goff is that. Restrepo. Come on, bro. I mean, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I'll give you a maybe on it. Every time I scroll back over here, I have to resort the by ADP. So a couple of running backs still floating around that people like. Scattaboo now appropriately going long after Tyrone Tracy, which I prefer that. Mason is this like injury guy who could win you the league. So that's what he's there for. Let's see. Wide receiver group getting kind of thin. We've got great wide receivers. We're not super worried about it. We got a 3-pack of studs, and there's lots and lots more to pick from later on here. We'll be on the clock momentarily. We've got a good tight end, so we're fine there. Do we want to grab a second quarterback here? 127. I think I can maybe wait for some of these other guys. So I will give that another round. ADP here, we're at pick 108. This is where now we got a fair price for Javonte Williams. We can take Mason. I'm going to take Javonte. I'm going to keep doing that. I'll get him a little fairer price than it's been. Bateman's got high upside. QBs, Herbert, Drake May, McCarthy, tight end. Don't need to waste our time there yet. 126. Let's go Bateman here. Bateman, I don't love Bateman week to week, but he's another guy that will get us spike weeks on occasion. Scored a lot of touchdowns, 11 last year, 16, 18. The bad weeks are terrible, but a 23 in there. So this is not a consistent guy, 25er. But this is a guy who will have these pops where he becomes super relevant for like probably I'll give Bateman, 5 times where he'll show up and be relevant next season in my lineup, whatever that's worth. So we got, I don't know if this was an unsexy double tap here. Javonte, just like one more starting running back, because why not? And then Rashad Bateman, just because, he's on that good team and they score a lot of touchdowns and whatever, right? So Ivan Drago with the ETN snag, I don't mind it. Jaylen Warren, not my favorite. We're at that point of the draft where it's not going to look that sexy. Justin Fields, Prescott, still lots of quarterbacks, but I have a feeling a bunch more will be gone by the time it gets back around to me. So we'll see if we can figure out any more stacks from there. I feel pretty good about the way my team is kind of coming together. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of starter running back types. And we got 3 stud wide receivers early, kind of getting back to wide receiver here. We got a really solid tight end as well. So this is just a team to kind of like fill in here. Every position is kind of covered. 1 QB, 4 running backs, 1 tight end. Let's see. Monet has 3 quarterbacks already. This is how you lose, guys. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. This person is a moron. Monet is a moron. Did you hear that Dobbins was not signed yet? He was just talking to Dallas. If he gets signed, that's a whole different story. Unless I'm wrong and he was signed. If he was signed, that does change things quite a bit. So that's risky with Williams. But hopefully we took him late enough that it's not that rough of a thing. I like Mims. You guys know that. No, Dobbins is not. Did he sign? Yeah, he signed with Denver or no? I know Dobbins. Did he sign with Denver, Ivan? That signing happened? Oh, yeah. Then that's really bad for RJ Harvey. That actually fucks RJ Harvey in a big way. So I should have mentioned that at the front. I didn't realize he signed. That is a killer blow to RJ Harvey this year. I'm going to be adjusting Harvey down. Your RJ Harvey shares are really going to take a hit, guys. That's just what it is. There's no getting around it. It's a bad sign for RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey's also, that's really bad for RJ Harvey also as far as like his dynasty value, because the guy is older. He's 24. He's a 24, 25-year-old prospect. Like, you don't want to have a 24-year-old prospect. It's a 1-year deal. Yeah, he's not that good. I think he's going to block Harvey a little bit. So, bad news. Burden not practicing with the team. That's not great for him right now. Not much going on at running back here. So we're going to try to see what else we can fill in when our pick comes up. But I'm probably going QB and probably going to grab a QB and a tight end. Wow. Yeah. The tight ends are drying up pretty quick too. Everything's drying up. That's what happens when you wait 24 picks between picks. Everybody's drying up. Sort by ADP again. Yeah. The slide is real though, right? Ivan on the clock. Trey Harris. Okay. Well, sounds like we're getting a quarterback. So I can, let's see. I mean, I don't really want to, I'm not grabbing Stafford here. It's too soon. I'm going to take Jordan Love ahead of Herbert. Don't at me, bro. I just did what I did. I did it. Don't at me. All right. Wide receivers. Thielen early. Leggett. Don't mind Leggett. No. Let's go with the rookie, Kyle Williams. All right, so my team is now coming together. I put Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams, a promising rookie wide receiver for the Patriots. Now, of course, they have Stephon Diggs, but Stephon Diggs is Stephon Diggs, one, right? We don't know what's going on with him, but I do like Stephon Diggs. But after that, they have Demario Douglas. He's like a 7th-round pick. That's not a real threat, or a 6th-rounder wide receiver from last year. Demario Douglas, like, who the fuck is that? They got Keyshawn Boutte. Who the fuck is that? Like, I think the wide receiver group is probably wide open for the Patriots. So why not? The other choices could have been like a Hollywood Brown. Adam Thielen usually starts the season pretty decent, but everything drops off really quickly after that. So kind of went that way. And now our team is, I think this team is filling out pretty nicely. I got 2 quarterbacks off the board, still 1 tight end, 4 running backs, 5 wide receivers, and we'll just fill in from here. See what everybody's doing. So pretty much as I thought. I was thinking about taking Ertz. He had such a good year last year, but it was all volume. I don't know, man. I don't know. Look at all these targets, though. They just have more weapons this year, and I think that Deebo Samuel is really going to hurt Zach Ertz. He still only scored 11 fantasy points per game last year. Had a couple of pop games, though, and that's really what we're looking for, but they came on massive volume. Why not Beck? It's a good question. I don't have a good answer for that, Andrew Nolan. You're right. Beck just as good. I don't know. Yeah, Beck is actually a higher drafted guy. He's competing, could be better. Yeah. I didn't think that was so much of a reach, Ivan Drago. I just think I've been trying to grab Ertz. He had a good year last year. It's fine. So you get this swath of secondary running backs that just go off the board. That's when you kind of know, all right, man, I don't know what to do. I'm going to take Tajay Spears. Why not? It's Tajay, bitch. Tajay, bitch. No. Sorry. Apologize. My apologies. Fergie. There's Beck. I mean, so yeah, if you want Beck, he's still there. Garendo, the solid backup for San Francisco on the board. Gesicki was pretty good last year. You got Trey Benson, a really solid backup running back floating around. Xavier Legette, second-year guy. I like Jalen Wright as well, solid kind of secondary running back type of guy. So these are my let's go by ADP now. So on ADP, it looks pretty different. Some of these names that I was just saying, right, are going way further down. These are guys that I have higher, like Wright and Benson. I have well over their ADP. Dobbins now in Denver becomes an interesting, I guess, kind of backup guy. McMillan, where's Ray Zanny? That's your boy. McMillan floating around. Running back group still looks, tight end group still looks pretty good. So we got a few of these left. The weird thing about picking at the very end is, like I said, you feel like, oh, there's a lot of players at a certain position group left right now. But then it goes all the way around and they're all gone. So let's see what people are doing. And I got to prep for my pick. White, Quentin Johnston, sort of just going by ADP. I'm going to, once again, sort by ADP so I can see what the field is seeing as opposed to what my rankings show. Try to avoid reaching for anybody. Yeah, I think I got to get a tight end on this round. I only have one. I could probably use another running back or a quarterback, right? So the quarterbacks left are still, they're getting pretty rough. Tight ends, there's still quite a few. Running back, I'm going to get my boy Trey Benson in there. That is my guy. I want to make sure I get him, right? Now, wide receiver, I'm going to take Wandy. He fell to me finally where he belongs. I'm going to go Wandy. And that was risky. So all my next picks will be pretty much tight ends. And hopefully if a miracle happens and I can, one of these quarterbacks lasts one more round, we'll grab one. If not, we'll just roll with Goff and Love. They have different bye weeks. I should be fine with those two. Let's go back to the draft board. Geno, Aaron Rodgers ahead of Geno Smith. Dude, don't take Aaron Rodgers. The only person that Aaron Rodgers should go ahead of at this point is probably like Russell Wilson, because Wilson probably not playing the whole year. I don't like that Aaron Rodgers pick. Who is that? Monet. Oh, Monet. Oh, 4 quarterbacks for Monet. Is this person fucking in moron? What is this real? Is this a real person drafting Kelsey? Then 4 tight ends in a row. Coleman. The guy only took, I mean, this is just ridiculous. All right, well, we got a free spot. Monet is a moron. Only 2 running backs, but 4 quarterbacks and 4 tight ends. The guy has only 2 running backs, but 4 quarterbacks and 4 tight ends. Who else is a moron in here? Never our guys, right? Every draft I'm in is tough because you guys are in it. But then we get a moron like a Monet in here giving us free money. Two quarterback, 5. So mostly everybody's a 2 quarterback. One, Jax is just 1 still, so he'll probably want a second one at some point. This guy hogged 4 quarterbacks and really good one. So Somebody don't tell Monet. Only one can score for you, buddy. Only one can score. You have 4 guys all putting up 22s, 21s, and 19s. Like, oh, my backup guy got me 22 instead of 20. I got 2 more points. Meanwhile, you got a 3 from your running back. Great strategy, moron. Yeah. But he's his 4th quarterback in fairness. So he's just using him as a backup. Just a backup. Ron, my 4th quarterback. You know how many times Aaron Rodgers will outscore Allen, Lamar, and Brock Purdy this year? 0. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he's just a moron. It's very possible that the guy is just a moron. Pollock with the Daniel Jones. I feel like that's early for Danny Jones, man. I think it's early. Jax also. This is a weird draft. He finally gets his QB2. Cam Ward. This guy went, let's see, Jefferson, McBride, Rice, McMillan, first running back, Walker, then a whole bunch more wide receivers and quarterbacks, and then a bunch of shitty wide receiver running back. This guy's paying the VIG as well. Jax, not impressed, buddy. I'm not impressed. Kenny Walker and then Scattaboo as your number 2. Bajal Tootin could save you. Spears. So at least these other running backs could save you. Wait, I need to pay attention. My pick will be at some point. Let's see here. Final phase. 6 running backs. But again, Bijan and then a big skip. But I think he did okay here. Garendo got some good ones late. So this is a little bit of a better, what I call hero running back where, okay, you only took 1 and you got a bunch of sweet wide receivers. And then you kind of double tap running backs here. I think that's fine. Yeah. Let's see here. Gibbs. This guy went Gibbs, Brown, Burrow, Mayfield. I think Burrow and Mayfield is a bit of overkill. I think that's a little too studly at quarterback personally, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot, right? Let's see. This guy, he did it right. Enbierto really waited on QB, but then double tapped. I like that. Running backs, Hall, Connor, Pollard. I think that's fine. This is a pretty good draft as well. Ivan drafting well as always. McCaffrey, Hubbard. You got Jaden Daniels going to reach for Debo and Zach Ertz in there. So that was pretty good. We're coming up on our pick here. Let's see what's been gone. Russell Wilson, DeAndre Hopkins. All right, let's see what we got going on here. QB position, Richardson. Running backs. Ooh, Wright is one of my favorite guys. But we need tight ends here. So should I go? Let's go with the Jets guy. Do that. What round are we in here? 17. Oh, we got a couple picks left. QB. I'm going to take Richardson. Pray for a miracle. Pray for a miracle, but I have almost no hope for Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson's career could be like 3 or 4 more games ever played. The only thing going for Anthony Richardson is there any reason to like throw Danny Dimes in there? No. They might just keep him out there, but he'll get hurt. He won't last. I don't feel good about an Anthony Richardson pick at all. Not at all. But what are you going to do? Do I feel good about it? No. Watch the draft board. Wright would have been my other choice. I really like Wright this year, and I'm drafting a ton of him. I have a ton of exposure to him. Just keep drafting him. He went, I think he was a 3rd round, maybe a 2nd round, but no, I think he was a 3rd round running back for Miami, and I think he's going to replace the role that Raheem Mostert had last year, right? I think he's going to replace that role. At me. Theo Johnson. Tyler Shook goes. So I think he's going to replace that role, and I think that would be really nice. So that's kind of what I think will happen. And, we'll see. Yeah. Richardson turn into a wide receiver. You know what? Wouldn't that be funny, Ray? Could you see it? Definitely doesn't seem like a quarterback. But I feel like it's egregious to take Daniel Jones ahead of Richardson. I'm sorry. I can't sign off on that. All right, let's see who's left here. Jackson Dart, possible late season starter. Joe Flacco might be the guy in Cleveland. That's about it. Kenny Pickett, if our guy Hardcore or whatever his name is, if he's in here, he loves Kenny Pickett in Cleveland. We got a Kenny Pickett fan in the chat most days. And then running back group, the only real I'm seeing not a whole lot of good here. Woody Marks kind of ruined with the signing of a little bit ruined with the signing of Dobbins over there. And then Blake Corum I like a little bit. Richardson's getting surgery before the season even starts, maybe. That would ruin him. Let's see. Dobbs still a player with some life in him. Got Tyler Lockett, Pat Bryant. All these names have some life in them for these last few picks. Tight end group, there's really nothing. I think Higbee is a little bit underrated. So Higbee could be okay. Dobbs, Pat Bryant. So we have some names here. Keenan Allen could get signed somewhere and be a really good value late. Imagine if Keenan Allen just signs with Tennessee. Is he going to be available in the second to last pick in the draft? No, he's going to fly up the boards. Pollock betting on Richardson not playing a snack. I don't even think that's the worst bet to make. I think that's an acceptable bet this year. Would you bet on Danny Jones resurrecting his career, though? Could Danny Jones pull like a Darnold and just like look better on a new team? Is it possible, guys? I think it's a reasonable question. Is it even possible? Yeah. Higbee's fine. Everybody hating on Higbee. All right, let me see what's going on here. We got Corum. We've got Dubs. I don't mind taking Dubs either. If Monet didn't take Dubs, yeah. I like Dubs. He's on the field. This is a starting wide receiver, and you're giving him to me there? Okay. How many picks we got? We're on our last pick. How many tight ends do I have? No, I've got one more pick after this, but I kind of want Blake Corum. Yeah, I'm just going to go with Blake. I think he's got more upside for me. Blake Corum, just a handcuff. Yeah, Higbee was good. I didn't get him, but so one of you guys will. But he got plenty of targets when he came back last year. It's fine. I think what will hurt Higbee is last year they didn't have Devontae Adams, and they had sort of like a diminished Cooper Kupp, so they just kept throwing to Higbee because they needed to throw it to the white guy, and it wasn't Cooper Kupp. Because when I'm watching, it's like all confusing. Like, oh, is that Cooper Kupp? Oh no, it's Higbee. Because they look the same. That's it. No one's going to. Said, all right. Because they look the same, I said. There goes Higbee. Who took him? Let's see if he went to one of you guys. No. Went to a random. So all of our talking up Higbee did not make any difference here. I am seeing some of these names like what I guess what's kind of weird about this draft, this one for me is when we were drafting these earlier this year, just like earlier versions of these $3 drafts that I've done, Higbee, Theo Johnson, those last couple of tight ends were there in the last round of the draft. And it's interesting to me that now they're going a few rounds before it. So all the relevant tight ends are pretty much gone. Even Juwan Johnson would last till the very end. Who's this D Washington? Just random bullshit tight ends are just going. What is happening here? What's with the tight ends, guys? What the hell? It's just bizarre. Normally you can get Higbee in your last round. You can get Theo Johnson in your last round, and you're not even sure you want him. And here they went way early. I only wound up with 2 tight ends in this one. That could burn me. Any other relevant tight ends left? Probably not. Oh. Oh well. Yeah, no. All garbage. Arroyo, rookie. Fannin, nope. QB group, Jackson Dart still could get some starts later in the year, so that could be okay. Running back group, who's still left here of interest? Marshawn Lloyd is the backup to Jacobs. Fine. James as the late round San Francisco guy that always seems to kind of find a role, I guess. Not much going on there. Wide receiver group, not a whole lot going on here either. So we're in the turd zone. It's not looking good. Yeah, DK really is all over the place. Well, I think this is a softer format than Underdog. I think on Underdog, people are honed in, people are professional. And here I just think it's kind of like, dicking around at lunch on the toilet. Like, I don't know, let me do a DraftKings best ball. Maybe that's who's drafting here. I don't know. Yeah, tight end group pretty much toast. Wide receiver group. Whoa, Kendre Lambert Smith, like names being pulled out. Like, who the hell is this guy? Who the fuck? This guy's just pulling out crazy draft picks. B. Smith, Lambert. You got Amari Cooper. Doesn't have a team. This guy don't care. Fine. I don't give a shit. Don't need no stinking team. With the draft board, I got to keep scrolling up to see who's what. I don't want to rip on like Ivan or any of you guys. The negative to DraftKings versus FanDuel for streaming purposes is DraftKings, the draft takes a little longer. Underdog, that 20-second clock, a couple less rounds, and you're done with the whole draft a little bit sooner. So let's see who's coming up on the board here. We're going to be up picking in a minute. Really not in love with these tight ends. Definitely don't like any of that. Taysom Hill's no good. Not going to play this year. Bobby Wow said take some Cole Kmet anyway. That's what Bobby Wow said. All right, fuck it. And while we're here, might as well take my next guy in my ranking. Actually, no, he's an ADP guy. Let's go with my rankings here. Royals, Tesla. Oh, these didn't even mine. Tank Dell, Wicks. We can go with, let's go Westbrook Akine. Yeah, I think you're right, man. Underdog is sharp. And the cool thing about Underdog, though, and the reason I'm not quitting there, Disbanded Brotherhood, is I like their secondary games. Like, we've been having a lot of fun with the weekly Eliminator contest over there. I love that thing. Every week, half the field is gone. By week 4 or 5, you're down to the last 5%. You're in the money after 3 weeks. It's not a full season. It's going to be done sooner, and it's just kind of a fun format. All right, our draft is done here, and let's do a quick review. But I'll start with me and I'll kind of go down for the rest of you guys. We'll do a little review of your drafts, but we talked it through a little bit while we were doing this draft, so I don't want to get too deep into the review. But as you know, I went 3 stud wide receivers, sandwiched with Omarion Hampton and Trevion Henderson. Did a little bit something I normally do, which is I went a little earlier at tight end with Sam Laporta. That's a little sooner than I normally take like this kind of tight end. Normally, either I take a Bowers McBride early or I'll wait even longer. So I came out of these first 6 rounds with 2 running backs, not 3. Normally I have 3, but I didn't like this group of Judkins, Harvey. I just didn't like this group. I was hoping that Swift would get back to me over here, but he didn't last. But I felt like this was a little too soon for Swift. So, love me, hate me, whatever you want. I was hoping for Swift here. Instead, I get a Swift Pacheco double tap would have been beautiful. Instead, I get Pacheco, and then I paired up Goff with Laporta and Amon-Ra for the stack, right? Come back around. Javonte Williams, again, still the starting running back in Dallas. I'll take it. Bateman, touchdown upside guy. Fill in another quarterback in Jordan Love just to fill in. I don't have any real correlation with him. Kyle Williams. Could I redo this pick some other way? I mean, things were getting pretty thin. Beck, Hollywood Brown, a lot of pretty crappy wide receivers go next. I get my guy Trey Benson, who I'm really excited about. And as you guys know, I love me some Wandy Robinson, just that fill-in wide receiver. I have a lot of talent at wide receiver in this one, so I'm not super worried about it, but I'll take it. We get Taylor as our second tight end. And again, I probably could have used another tight end that, Taylor and Laporta. I really could have used another, strong tight end here, but I was kind of expecting some of these names to drop a little further than they did. Last couple rounds, I'm really happy to get Romeo Doubs here. And I can't complain about that. That's, ooh, what the hell? What the helly? Oops. That took me away. Yes, I love it. Draft-a-Palooza. You got your own Draft-a-Palooza going 24/7. Contest. Where was I? I'm going to try to get back to that one just to kind of talk it through. I think we're going to stick to just one today. One draft. So, whoa. What the hell is this? All right, I'm going to see if I could find what we just drafted. I don't really know what's going on there. I don't know what this is. I don't know. I lost it. Why do you think DFS has been compromised? Why? Like, I just won. Wait, hang on. Let me show you something. You say DFS is compromised? Maybe. But look at your boy, right? Look what I did this week, right? Maybe it's not that compromised. Little UFC action, little first place NASCAR. Look at this NASCAR win. By the way, two other DFS Army guys with me taking this one down, handcraft. So we could still win. We could still win at DFS. 3 of us share first place. This is Sunday. Look at my weekend. Mini max for UFC. Almost got it. Oh, $450. Almost got it. Check it out. So close. Marab, my guy. 12th place. Second nuts, right? Actually, third nuts here because somebody squeaked one in there. Almost got there. So close. You know what I needed? I needed more of Van. This guy. He actually, yeah. I went a little under on him, and that's what cost me. You're talking more football. So when you say, listen, I can actually show you something else. While we're here, let me check something out. I've been trying to convey this, but realistically, guys, and listen, I'm all football too. I'm all about it. But let's see if I can open this thing. Open link. Okay, here we go. Let me show you something. Uppers Lad. Look at this. Look at this MLB season. This is just Uppers Lad, one of our staffers for MLB. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 GPP wins already this year for Uppers Lad. If you guys are not playing, if you're DFS Army subscribed, you really need to be playing. You really need to be playing MLB. At least play the mini maxes and use the domination station. Uppers Lad literally gives you his formula in the chat, exactly what he's doing, and he's really just stacking teams, right? What we've done, but this year at DFS Army, just like we did last season. So if you guys are hanging around, last season at DFS Army, we upgraded our NFL projection model to what is the most accurate NFL projection model ever invented. And it proved itself all throughout the season. I'll be doing back test season here where we're going to go through it and we'll show all of that and we'll get into it. But we achieved the most accurate projection model ever conceived for NFL fantasy outcomes last year. This year, that was in 2024. Similarly, this year, we upgraded and completely updated and overhauled our MLB projection model, and the results have been spectacular. Last year, it was rough. I said, we got to change this. I wasn't happy with the projections. I wasn't happy with the amount of wins that people were coming out with. Understand what goes on at DFS Army. If you guys are not winning frequently, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Is our optimize wrong? We are constantly looking at that to make sure that we're ahead of the game. And this year, we revamped the projection model for MLB massively, and it's done nothing but lead to massive numbers of wins. One guy alone, look at this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not a normal amount of tournaments to win for one person. Should win 1 or 2 in a season. 7? Sometimes you win nothing. NFL's tough. NFL's one of the toughest of all sports. By the way, BKGJ, one thing to do for NFL is like what we did last year, a lot of what we talked about. Don't only play big tournaments. It's hard to win those. We're going to want you to play handcrafts, the 10x, the 10x multipliers. Everybody from DFS Army knows now, or anybody who hung out with me for the Players Club knows that we're going to make our money doing 10x tournaments. That is our bread and butter. That's where we're going to make our money. And then, yes, we're going to enter the big GPPs and we'll try to win one, but you don't even always win one every year. It's hard to win those. Harder. But we can handcraft winners. We've handcrafted, there are times on the Players Club we've handcrafted together 3 or 4 out of 7 that finish in the top 10%. So you can make your money, have fun, and not have to find that one insane turd wide receiver who went off, who no one ever heard of. Westbrook Akine scores 30 that week. No one was playing him. You don't have to do that in the 10X contest. You just got to put a good lineup together. Good, solid, well thought through lineup together. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Great stuff. Appreciate everybody hanging out for the stream, as always. We appreciate you hit the like, subscribe, all that shit, or whatever you want to do. Make sure that you're notified. We're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we've also got Fling doing a special Tuesday at 5 p.m. show. So almost 5 days a week at this point, we are drafting best ball teams here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. It's a Draft-a-Palooza all summer long. Keep hanging out. Yeah, you guys know it. Players Club, VIP. You know how we do. It's the Players Club, motherfuckers. That's right. We draft lineups together. We go over. We actually brought in a new specialist this season for handcrafted sort of smaller tournaments and strategies for that. So we have another elite player coming in that's going to be on the NFL coaching side that is really, really good at those and has a long history of success. In those smaller contests, more like handcrafted style lineups, more like well thought through one lineup, put it in an expensive contest. Disbanded Brotherhood for sure, man. We hope you be with us this year. I always recommend, guys, by the way, one easy thing when NFL season comes in, you want to sign up, Do the yearly package. The yearly package, it's a 12-monther. No matter when you do it, you get 12 months of DFS Army NFL, and you'll get to do our off-season stuff. Like, don't wait until September to sign up, because we're going to be doing back testing all summer long as well. So if you guys have been with me last, I know in August, we're going to start doing back testing. We're going to replay the entire 2024 season in back test mode. Hopefully I'll have enough time to do all the regular games and showdowns. We're going to do a lot of back testing, hone in on how to attack GPPs. What are the best settings for it? Guys, if you see those other sites with sims that charge $300, $400, $500 a month, just know this. I've looked at it. I don't use it, because the sims to me are the same thing as just going with low total P owned. It's literally the same shit, except instead of paying $300 a month, DFS Army sub, it's $250 for the whole year for NFL, or $300 or whatever it is. It's $49.99 a month instead of $300 a month. So we're here for the everyman. We're here to help regular players dominate and take money back from the sports books and from the DFS sites. Sportsbooks and DFS, really. So let's go. Yeah, Ivan, you'll like this year, the Players Club. You weren't with us last year, but that's what we do. The 10x multipliers. We build those lineups during the Players Club on Saturday. Every Saturday, DFS Army subscribers get that. We hang out together. It's a 2-hour stream. We're drinking Blue Moons. We're rocking songs and shit. We go crazy. Yeah, Pollock, man, if you bought Palantir at $20 when I was begging everybody to buy it, today it's $140. Hopefully you're rich now and can afford your subscription. Keep buying Palantir. Don't stop. Keep buying Tesla. Don't stop. I told you guys, just keep buying these and buy the S&P. You will make money. All right. Good luck, everyone. We will see you all on Friday at noon. Deuces.